you're back with Sean and Andy from Tuff Waterproofing, and we're just going to show you the new roof repair kit from Tuff Waterproofing, using the flexible GRP technology and system. But this roof repair kit can be used on many substrates, Sean, can't it?
Felt, asphalt, concrete, single pliers,
GRP, anything you want. So Sean's just going to run you through the contents of the bucket.
Yep. So basically we start off with the very basics. We're going to provide some gloves, so keep it off your hands. Once you've done the job, you can walk back through your client's house, nice clean feet with some overshoes there. Reinforcing mat, the 225 gram
225 gram mat.
Sufficient there for the amount of resin that you've got.
Yep.
So
probably a little bit more, but you might want to use a bit.
Granulated hardener,
which you're going to use for your primer and your resin, aren't you?
Yep. Your general purpose primer.
1 kg primer.
Yep. Application tools. We're going to get a brush, some sleeves, and the all important handle.
Yep.
And then we've got our 5 kg tin of resin and a convenient stirring stick. So literally everything that you need.
Yep. And then literally, if you use all of the kit, all your rubbish straight in the bucket, clip the lid back on, put your overshoes on, walk out through the building nice and so this kit is going to be basically a 10-year repair, isn't it? So we're not going to be putting the top coat on it as we would for a roof system.
No.
This is just an incredibly long-lasting repair.
Yeah. But this does give you the opportunity of doing a repair in an area and maybe coming back at a later date and overlaying the whole lot with the same system.
Because obviously they're compatible.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. So that is the contents of the kit. That's what you're going to be looking for in your merchants. And that's going to give you, on a really rough surface, anywhere from just over 2.5 square metres up to about 4.2 on a really smooth surface. So there we go. So on the next video, we're going to show you a roof repair. I'm going to carry on now with the repair kit. We're going to show you just preparing this area. So this old rig of ours here has got some primer on. Obviously we're going to go over the top of that, but you can see the nasty problems that we've got here. So Sean's going to give that a sweep off.
Yeah, so you need to clean down, make sure it's nice and clean and dry. Any debris, just got to sweep it off, stones or anything, just get rid of all those.
So I'm going to take the 1 kilo primer, making sure that the lid's on nicely. Going to give it a quick shake up. Didn't bring a screwdriver with us, so just going to use the 2p piece just to open that. Now we've got,
so there we go, nice and
roughly about 7 degrees in here at the moment. So that's between our 5 and 7 degree temperature. So I'm going to use 4 scoops of primer in this. Now I'm going to put the granulated hardener in all of it because obviously on this roof there would be other areas that need doing.
What you need, if you've got several splits or several defects in the roof, around the roof, get them all prepared so you can, once you've primed, you've set the primer, you can wander around and just do those areas.
Prime those areas up. Thank you, Sean. Oh, picked up the gloves as well. So we'll put that to one side now. So now I'm going to stir those granules in. And I'm going to use the roller with the fluffy sleeve for putting the primer down. So just give that a really good stir up.
So this, the analogy to this is like putting sugar into your tea, so you don't want it all to sink to the bottom, so you've got to give it a good stir up. So
now keep my mess down because I'm probably going to want to use this stir up again in a minute for my resin. So I can put that to one side. So now I'm able to put my roller in there. So now we're going to take this area right over and up that upstand. Just takes the roller a minute just to get the primer working in that. There we go.
So this is going to give you a working time of, say, anything between half an hour and an hour. So we'll be able to get, what we want to be doing is get back on this within half an hour realistically.
Yeah.
But The official times is 30 minutes to an hour.
So I'm just pushing that primer nicely into there.
Yeah.
I'll try and do a nice straightish line across there. Always difficult when you're working over the top. So now we can come down through. Going to make sure I get a nice bit of primer into that split there.
So if there was any bubbles, would we start them and then weld them back?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if
sure
they're open, yes. I mean, sometimes you're better off taking them out, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you can see there where we nailed something down on that edge there
before.
Yeah,
we've got nail holes in there as well. So
always worth taking it a little bit past, go at least sort of like 75mm past the edge of your repair onto sound area. So I'll take it up to that edge, and now that primer be worked across, and I'll try and do a straightish edge down there. There we go. So that is our area now primed out. We can now take this can and this roller over to our other areas that we want to do. Get everything primed out in one go. Once you've used that primer, you can knock that sleeve straight off into that can, put the lid back on.
Yeah, that'll cure off, and that becomes inert then, so you can throw that into...
You can just put that in the bucket and then that can go in the skip. So that's that. So the area is now primed. Once that's dried, we're literally going to cut our bits of mat to size. We will cut just a little bit of mat just to go in on that repair and that one there first. So you say we're sort of double reinforcing it. I always think that pays off. And that's obviously what we're going to show you in the following part of this in a minute. Once your primer is applied and it's dry, then obviously you can get on with the main part of the repair. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix up a litre, or nearly 1.4 kilos. And what we can say is that if you measure 20mm up from the bottom of that bucket and put a mark inside, that's going to give you 1 litre. We're only going to mix the 1 litre up for this, but if you have got your 3 or 4 repairs, you may as well mix the whole lot up, won't you? So
once you put the lid back on that, that will last.
And,
they say it's got a year shelf life on it, so there you go.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that to one side. The stirring stick earlier on, primer nice and cured. I'm going to give that a good stir up in the bucket.
I'm going to start cutting the mats to suit, so just going to measure out and see how long we need it.
I've got up to my 20mm mark there. So at that stage, and we're just going to have a little bit to go in that split shot as well.
So I've cut the matting now, and you're preparing the resin. Obviously it's still a one-man operation, you don't need, but I'm just going to cut some sections to go over these, so that the actual splits are double repaired, or double laminated I should say.
Our temperatures still stay the same. We're in that 5 to 10 degree range, so 4 scoops of the granulated hardener into that, which I will then stir so again we're going to give that a nice stir so those granules are distributed nice and evenly in that resin. Once I've got them in like that, I can use the roller literally just to give them a final stir. Clean up that bit of there.
Perfect.
So I'll now give that a quick stir up in there. with that. I'm now going to pass that over to you, Sean, as you have your gloves on.
The gloves. If you notice, I just used an old pair of scissors for cutting, and it's ideal. You can tear it, it's not a problem.
It's 225 gram mat, tears really nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I'd be reluctant to use a knife on there, but
yeah.
So all I'm going to do is grab my resin. I'm going to wet out the area like so. Just going to drop my first one in, just make sure it's nicely saturated.
I always feel that gives it a nice bit of extra strength, Sean.
Yeah, and of course that's the leaking area, so what we want to do is we want to provide the support for the neck, the complete layer that goes over the top. So I'm just going to wet in there. Okay. And then I can actually use my brush just to get in there, just to make sure it's detailed nicely. That's gone nicely.
Yeah.
Just going to make sure this is properly agitated and we're...
Yeah. So we've got the nice two areas there where the defects are nicely covered.
That's it. That's it. I'm just going to place it down the bottom. Maybe if you can see it better if I come around this side. And now I'm going to wet out the whole area with my resin, as you would do normally if you're doing a complete installation.
And because we're only using the equivalent of a 10-year system of repair, we're not going to put the final coat on as you would if you were doing the roofing system. We can afford to go quite nice and thick with the base.
Yes.
Because we want that resin to come up through the mat, Sean, don't we?
We certainly do, yeah. So I'm just going to try and keep my drips to a minimum.
Yep.
Can't see that front now, I don't know if I've dripped, but...
No, just a little one there. I'll just take that off for you, because obviously you can't see it. Yep.
So I've got quite a nice base down there.
Yeah.
Just going to give it a nice edge there. Whoops, sorry.
That's right.
Just a bit on the upstand.
Keeping it as straight edge as you can makes the
nice
and tidy, doesn't it?
If you really wanted to, you could mask off
Mask
the
it out, yeah. If it's something that's going to be seen, probably mask it out first. Yep.
So that's those areas. I have cut quite a large, but it doesn't matter if you overlap these. So I'll lay my first section down. You can instantly see that matting
sinking into
the resin coming up through.
Nice.
I'm going to get that first one down. And that's doubled up in those areas. Yep. So that's come up through nicely now. Make sure I get
a little look over it, no pinhole in there because obviously that resin, and now you're just going diagonal because we want to just try and get that mat to swirl, don't we?
That's swirly pan, you know. So I'm just going to put another bit here where they overlap, so I'm putting the right amount of resin down, and then put the second section over. Yep. My gloves.
That resin's coming up there really nice there, isn't it?
So it's nice to put that second layer of resin over the top because you're getting the right amount there, and it embeds lovely. So as I say, the resin's starting to break down the matting now, so we'll be able to really detail it in and make it, as you say, you're looking for that nice swirly pattern, pinhole free.
Yep.
And you just see those overlaps just disappearing.
Oh, that mat's starting to move around lovely there now, isn't it?
So checking for those areas, especially the areas where the leaks were located in.
Yeah. And of course, if you do see an area where it's just, you're a little bit bare, or whether that substrate's been a little bit more absorbent, you can always just put a little bit more resin on at this point, can't you?
Yeah, well, I think I will. I mean, I've got plenty here.
You've got plenty of resin left on there, so you may as well use it rather than lose it.
It's really detailing nicely now.
And that area that we can see there, where the defect was, Beautiful no pinholes in there.
Make sure everything's covered, our upstands.
Yeah.
So it's details, this detail's so lovely on the upstairs.
That 225 gram mat, it really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go.
That's
I
it.
think we're almost done. Just going to check.
Yeah.
If necessary, we can use our little brush just to
Pop it in.
detail it all in, make
Now-
sure we're 100%.
That repair that we've done there, the beauty of that is that repair is now complete. So now, if as you're coming off that roof, it rains, it's going to sit on there, it can't break it down, it can't wash it away, and it's going to cure underwater.
Yeah.
So all you needed was that small window, wasn't it?
Yes.
To get it down. Obviously, we want the substrate to be dry. You can use a blower to get any standing water off, blot it out with some paper towel. And at that point there, if we've used everything that we've done our areas of repairs,
Yep.
everything that's left, back in that bucket, overshoes on, walk out nice
through
and
the
clean,
property, yeah.
and that's your
And all your smells are contained in the bucket,
container
so
there,
you
and then
outside.
dispose of everything.
Anything left over you can take on
Oh,
and
yeah,
use
yeah,
it
yeah.
on the next job. Maybe
Yeah.
when you come to do the overlay,
Yeah.
you might have some bits left over.
Yep. So that's it. So that is the Tuff Universal Roof Repair Kit.
Brilliant.
Okay. Thanks a lot for watching.